Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Smart and Safe Small Business Podcast. I'm here with Marilyn Parham, a CPA and principal in the Rock Solid Company, a family of award-winning online financial companies serving e-commerce, online, and service-based business owners. After more than 25 years serving as a CPA, she is most inspired through her work as a co-founder of Profit Hero, an online mentorship serving the startup to scale-ready small business to break free and achieve financial transformation with more pay, more play, and more profit. Thank you so much for joining us, Marilyn.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So tell me, Marilyn, who's your ideal client? Who do you guys typically work with?
We work with e-commerce, online retailers, and online service providers. That's our niche.
Got it. And tell me, what is one specific problem that you help this market solve?
Really, I think the biggest problem we've seen people run into is not paying themselves. So the reason you're in business is actually to earn money. And that's the biggest problem we see. People don't pay themselves.
I think every business owner would like to pay themselves a little bit more, myself included, heck, probably yourself, right? So tell me, what are some typical symptoms of people who are not paying themselves? They might not even realize that they aren't. They're just, trudging through the day.
Well, it's their business, right? So they're trying to give their business everything it needs, and they leave themselves out of the mix. They're paying their expenses, they're paying their debt, they're paying for investment into their company, and whatever's left over is what they get. And typically speaking, there's not a whole lot left over. So it's really the old adage of you pay everybody else before you pay yourself, and there's none left. So we really are trying to change the mindset around that and actually creating a system by which you pay yourself first, the profit you set aside first, thereby allowing all the other money that's left it's the Parkinsons Law, okay? So if you carve out the profit first, everything else is your expenses.
And remind the listeners here, what is the Parkinson's Law?
You create this, whatever the space that you have, you'll fill it up, whether it's in your money or in your time, whatever resources you have. So let's give an example here. If you've got a project, say it's just in your house, you want to paint your room, and you give yourself a month to get this project done, you'll take the whole month. And if you create that project and say, okay, I only have a week to do it, well, big surprise, you get it done in a week. You tend to fill the space that you give yourself in any given resource.
So with small business owners, maybe having 100K come in the door and all of a sudden it gets allocated to an employee here, some inventory there, a shiny new office, but it never actually gets to the bottom line in their bank account. Is that right?
That's right. That's why I love the name of our business too, the bottom line. It's all about the bottom line. So if you set that bottom line apart before you even start paying your expenses, you'll be much better off.
There's definitely a lot of magic to this system because I did read Profit First when I first started this company, and I started with that methodology from day one, and I'm so grateful that I did because I was quickly falling into that trap of every dollar that came in, just reinvesting it out. But we got to eat, and more than that, we have to thrive as business owners, and we have to save for our own futures and focus on what matters for ourselves. Because I think as business owners, we are so invested in our companies. They're our children, right? That we feel like if we take anything out of it for ourselves, there's almost like a little bit of a guilt complex. You know what I'm talking about.
We're taking food out of our baby's mouth, and it's not something we feel good about. But honestly, to be healthy, you actually have to, I think just comes to mind on the airline, when the air attendant actually gets in front of you and they tell you to put the I don't even know what that thing's called, the mask over your own face before you put it over your child's face. If you think about it that way, that's really what you should do. If you're healthy as a business owner and your energy is up and you're giving yourself what you need out of the company, your business is going to be healthier because of it.
Absolutely. You have to pay yourself a reasonable salary. And
Mhm.
and one mantra I like to have as well is try to make sure your business is always in a sale ready state. You might
Yes.
not have any intention of ever selling your business. It might be
Mhm.
with you for the rest of your life. But if it's sale ready, that means it's healthy. There's documentation, there's systems and processes. But we could probably talk all day about that.
All
So
day. Yeah.
tell me, what are some typical symptoms of business owners who are not paying themselves enough and they aren't getting out of their business what they really ought to?
And really, the biggest symptom is debt, especially in commerce, because the profit margin is so small compared to a lot of other businesses that the business owner takes on debt to build up inventory to get the systems in place. And so then they're having to play catch up for a long time and just paying off the debt. And if your debt's not structured well with the terms, the interest rate, and the payoff term, it really does hinder you for some time to come. And then you get in a whole mindset, a bad mindset, and a system by which you can't really climb out of very quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, what are some common mistakes that business owners make when they first try to maybe start paying themselves and get more pay out of their business?
Sometimes they start too big. They go from, everybody wants to get paid, so they go from zero, maybe even a negative cash flow, to wanting to pay themselves too much. And that only hinders your business cycle. You take on debt to pay yourself, that's not a good um, path to take. So if you just start small, my whole effort with a lot of my clients is, let's just start with small increments. Even with the profit first model, the profit first model says that you should pay yourself starting out 50% of what you bring in. And if you do that right at 50 cents from the very beginning, you'll give up on the process because it won't work. Okay,
Hmm.
but if you start small, start with 5% and get some success behind you and some processes in place to where you're doing it with ease, then you every quarter can increase that percentage, increase that amount that you pay yourself. And then you over time you see great success in that.
That's definitely what I did. I started this business, Tax Valet. I paid myself $1, and then I said, "Can I do 20? Can I do 20 bucks? Okay, can I do 200? How about 2,000? Oh my God, we're getting up there." Yeah.
It's great. It's the
Uh-huh.
success.
Uh-huh. So tell me, what is one free action that the audience can implement right now to get more pay, play, and profit out of their business?
I would say two things. One, read Profit First, because there's a lot of value there. And two, schedule time to concentrate on just this issue. Okay. You've got a plan. So the one free action item is set a plan. And setting a plan comes with scheduling that time to do so. That's the biggest benefit you can get right off the bat.
And what is one resource you'd point the audience to learn more about this topic?
Yeah, here at the bottom line, we've actually developed a little course. It's called Pocket More Profit Masterclass that I'd like to actually share with your audience. And it's just kind of a system by which you can start this process. It educates you as to what it is, how to implement it.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, last question here. What is one question that I should have asked you that'd be of great value to the audience? And the answer, please.
Well, I alluded to it before. It's really, okay, I like this idea. How do I get started? And my answer to that question is probably twofold. I spoke to the schedule it, put it on the calendar. And two, my other thing would be just to have a conversation with someone. If you don't know how to get started, actually connect. Connect with me, connect with Alex, connect with a mentor of some sort so that you can actually move the needle forward in starting to pay yourself.
Well, that is great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marilyn. You heard it here first. If you want to pocket more profit, go hang out with Marilyn and her crew and check out that resource. We will have it in the show notes and description in our blog. I'll catch you later, Marilyn.
Thank you, Alex.